Good morning everybody, welcome to Stockradar, Stocks on the Move for another week. Today's date is the 5th of June 2025. My name is Richard Lee and I manage the stockradar.com.au website very well. Exciting times at the moment, more stocks coming from the scanners, more stocks hitting the radar, more stocks extending their trends like gold, Evolution, Regis Resources, all those are going gangbusters. Some of the big stocks, Wesfarmers, QBE, Brambles, Telstra, T&E, Medibank Private, the same old culprits, they're just doing it again, making new highs. It really is a trend follower's dream at the moment. There's new highs, extraordinary things that are happening, but this is what happens when momentum takes a hold of the market, okay? We've got a little surprise from Soul Pattinson, which a few of my members have got in their portfolios, which is a nice one. Interesting activity on both stocks prior to the announcement. The price analyst always knows these things, so it's a little bit of a wake-up call there. So it's exciting and interesting times at the moment. This is a really good time for trend followers, and this is when we make some money. So all looking pretty good at the moment. Breakout trends, what we're looking at today, looking at how to manage them, managing yourself, this sort of side of it, because we can get quite excited in these sort of times. We need to stay cool, calm and collected. Cool heads make the cool decisions. Okay, so let's go to trend intensity ratings. Now I've got 18 top 10 ratings of 43 at the moment. Here's 10 of them just to give you a cross section. But Bank of Queensland's taken off rather nicely. CBA is making new highs, 181 yesterday. Evolution GMD really came back a bit this week, but gold still looks okay. Megaport's going well, as is Qantas making new highs, Remedies Resources. Then we've got Telstra, T&E and QBE also making new highs. So there's some more there, but that's a good cross-section of them. And you can see Technology One, once it bounced through its little resistance level, it just went gangbusters and a huge volume. And so that's been another interesting stock. They just keep rising. And this is an interesting time when you see this sort of thing happen because it's really pretty rare. Okay, stock pick count up a couple more again this week. What, 3? I think we had 4 in and 1 out this week. So up 3 to 43 stock picks, 39 stock picks of 158, 4 ETFs. I'm going to be stopping coverage of ETFs from next week due to some restrictions on my licensing there, but that's fine. We've got our stocks that we love and we're making money out of, and they're all looking after us rather nicely as well. Okay, so now, excuse me. Portfolios are full and strong. Your short portfolio should be chock full of good trending stocks at the moment. Overseas markets creeping ever closer to their highs. I think we almost touched the sky yesterday, which is the high of the range, the all-time highs. So we're going to look at that chart a little bit later on. There's a couple of other indices looking like they're getting close to it. So if we look at the Dow to start with, we can see this one. It's pushing up towards its high. It's sort of mid-range still, but there's a bit of volume there. Nothing definitive there. It's a bit mid-range. But when we look at Nasdaq and the S&P, they're a lot closer. Nasdaq had a good run again this week, getting very close to that 20,000 mark. Volume middling without being excessive, and that can often happen as we're approaching it, and we'd like to see a bit of expansion as it goes through to confirm it. Same with the S&P, it's nearly at its highs there, bounced back very strongly, looking okay. Momentum's just sort of come back and just recovering into the neutral zones on those indices. So really nothing certain at the moment, but looking very interesting, I guess. We go to our market, which is, again, I said, touched the sky last night. So it's just hit the highs there, pretty strong there. We've got the little gold metal flavour that maybe it's pushing us along a little bit, X the big miners, which is a weird one. Momentum's starting to turn positive there on the ASX 200. So that's looking good for a few of those big top 20 stocks, like whether it be Wesfarmers, Telstra, CBA, whatever it is. They're all pushing this ASX 200 higher. Okay, now we go across to gold, which also looks fine at the moment. Trend is up. It's had a little bit of a sideways push. No problem there. Everything looks okay. We've had a bit of selling test here, but the gold price still holds up very well indeed. Copper also holding up very well indeed. I'm a bit ominous. A lot of these markets, a lot of these stocks that are coming up to their, you can see in my report that I send out to my email. It has a lot of stocks that are near their resistance levels, as is copper, and is not resigning from that challenge. Just imagine if it got through. So we'll wait and see. We won't anticipate, but it's sort of exciting and it's sort of bubbling. This isn't coming back. The sellers aren't hitting it in this high price. So copper still looks pretty interesting to me. Unfortunately, crude's not the same case. It looks pretty bad, just looking weak there, as we've seen for a long, long time there. Okay, so now we go to some stocks. Okay, so this week I'm looking at breakout trends. We look at Bank of Queensland. It had a nice little breakout. Now we saw it start to rally quite strongly before this breakout, but the breakout confirmed it. And then we've got all this beautiful volume following it and this beautiful momentum. So this is a very classic picture, downtrend without a D or an E, accumulation pattern and developing trend, which then becomes confirmed once we break through this resistance level here and all these sellers return to buyers. And we've got a nice move up from about $7 to about $8 in a very short time. So that's not a bad move at all. Trend intensity rating is 10. As I said, volume's good, above the average, and so is momentum there. So that's a good one, Bank of Queensland. I looked at the banks a bit later on because there's an interesting picture in those banks. And we look at Telstra here, just kicking higher and higher and higher. Look, it's really up about $1 since February this year, which is a pretty good move for a leading stock. A big percentage gain, and again, it's just made new highs. Hardly had any pullbacks along the way at all. We've got great volume here. We've got great momentum. It's above the average. These are the trends you can't really deny. You just follow them and let them unfold. Megaport's been a new one. It's up in the top 10 ratings. It's also had a break here, looking rather interesting as it reverses here and heads towards this next level at R1, which would be a larger trend reversal and targeting probably R2 up there. So one step at a time, but that's the way it's developing at the moment. Volume's picking up a little bit without being extraordinary. Maybe it's a bit hard to get a hold of stock. Momentum's good, so the weight of evidence arguments is still a plus 10 for Megaport, so that still looks okay there. Okay, now Genesis Minerals. Look, it rallied and came back a bit this week, like a lot of the gold, but still the trend is up. So we hit these little moves here and there, but we focus on the major moves, which is up. And we know that our huge volume patterns down here were pretty impressive. So this stock here still looks pretty good to me. It's broken out of this little trading range here and moved higher pretty quickly. Trend intensity rating is +9. So it's all looking pretty good on Genesis Minerals. No problem there. BlueScope Steel, we did look at that last week briefly, but it was looking sort of reasonably exciting. We were in this big range, as we can see here. But it sort of had a bit of a rally this week, rallied about $1, I think, this week, at the start of the week, and hit this level again. So again, we've confirmed this level here. Again, what I like about these levels is they sit there. The longer they sit there, the better the chance is for a really good break. So this is an interesting stock, an interesting position at all-time highs. We've got this big flat top triangle sort of pattern developing. We know what can happen here. We watch out in case it does break down, where we've got our moving average uptrend line and our horizontal support line. That is holding at the moment and is testing the upper end of the boundary there. Trend intensity rating is +1, ready to confirm anything there. So that's another one that's looking pretty interesting. BlueScope Steel, I wouldn't want to watch that one. It's been struggling for quite a few years here, but now we're looking to test that upper boundary around $28. Okay, now I just want to go through to the banks. You know, it's an interesting situation where we've got the banks that always used to sort of move together, and they've changed their spots quite considerably. And for some reason, CBA is simply the chosen bank, and that's what's happening here. It's just going gangbusters. I think it finished at 181 yesterday. You know, how high can this go? We don't know. So we just follow with the trend. Now stop this will be rising this week. Stop is well up here. Now trend intensity rating is 10. Its trend is up. The volume is beautiful. Momentum is fantastic. So Commonwealth Bank looks really good. Now we go to the other three major banks. We know about Bank of Queensland, which is doing well, and CBA. There are no other stock picks in the banking sector. So if we look at National Bank, we can see here it's struggled up around the highs, up around $40. It's come back down here. It's rallying there. Volume is looking pretty good here. Momentum hasn't quite got on board. And if we go right back here, we can see why. This is our old high here back in 2015. And this is where we are now. This is where we're struggling. So this is an interesting situation. Is it going to get through or not? Well, as CBA continues higher, National Bank just struggles with this $40 level. If it gets through, well and good. If it doesn't, then we just have to hold. So National Bank's not quite there yet. We can see Westpac Bank also floundering at the moment around this area for the last almost 9 or 10 months. It's been trading in this range here between about 30 and about 35. Can't get through there. It's a real battleground where buyers and sellers are battling them out for supremacy. We've got a big uptrend here. Now we've got a sideways pattern here. If I was a betting man, I'd say a break up, but I have no idea really. We really have to wait for this to happen here. The old highs are up around $40, so it hasn't got there yet. So a little bit unsure about Westpac. So again, I'm neutral and I stand aside when I get this sort of situation where it's too much 50-50 for me to like. So those other two banks, NAB and Westpac, look nothing like CBA. And then we go to ANZ Bank, which is even worse because it's now, we can see the old cycle high back here in 2015 that they all hit. Now CBA has been rallying quite well since then, but it's hit this area here. And if we just blow this up here, this struggle area here, we've now got a series of low highs coming across the tops here. We've also got a fairly common point down here at around $28. Now, you can call this a head and shoulders, you can call it a distribution pattern, whatever, but it looks like the shift is going from buyers to sellers. So ANZ now running at -8, and it doesn't look very good to me. Now, if this was to break around $28, then you're going to see probably another leg down. But it's looking ominous to me, and again, it's a situation where I simply just don't play. I just stand aside and let it all develop. If it wants to come down, well and good. But I'm not too sure what it's doing. It just doesn't look very good to me at the moment, especially with these lower highs in place. And I'm watching this $28 level very carefully on ANZ. So there's the banks for you. There's a couple of other stocks there for you which are interesting. Then one little stock, I've covered a few little stocks lately. Australian Finance, which has gone good for a run. Pepper Money, which is looking interesting. Now we've got another little diversified financial called Carlton Investments. Now it may have run on a little bit already, but it does look good. We've got a fairly big correction here after a big run up. Corrective phase here, which is now broken out of. We've actually had a trend reversal back down here, and now we've got a new high here. So I'm just highlighting that to you as a simple trading action. It's actually a trend reversal, new high, and confirmation. And if I was a betting man, the range would be from 27 to 33. Extrapolated that by $6 gives me a rough target, rule of thumb target of around $39. So I just follow that with a stop. But these little diversified financial stocks are looking very interesting at the moment, all doing quite well, some of them. So have a look across some of those ones there. You might find something interesting again, like I have. Okay, so that's really the stocks I've got for you today. Just giving you an idea of what's going on. The market's really strong at the moment. It's you've really just got to follow these markets and let them happen, let them unfold. So that's what we're doing. Okay, so all our portfolios are full and we've got our stocks that we're happy with. Okay, so now I just want to go to a couple of slides for you. It's really just about talking about the price never lies. And we're talking about CBA, could be talking about JB Hi-Fi, which I think hit $112 yesterday. So these stocks are just amazing stocks. I don't ask too many questions. I know they will come back at some stage. From where it's going to happen, I don't know. But at the moment, we're in those trends and we follow. And so the price never lies, and that's what we follow. When the stars align, I often point to this. When the price breaks up, volume is expanding, it's above the moving average, and momentum is swinging higher. When we get those stars aligning, you get a very high probability of a stock moving higher. Not a guarantee, of course, as we know, but we get a very high probability, and that's what we try and play most of the time. As long as we manage these positions with a stop, we get a fairly good risk-reward opportunity to trade for a good move up, but also protecting ourselves if it goes wrong, creating a small loss. Okay, so the price never lies, and we just follow that. Stops that we have dual-purpose stops. Okay, there's two reasons we do that. This is our risk management tool. Stop management follows a trend higher. The stop follows the trend higher, and we can see things like CBA, JB Hi-Fi, Technology One. They run, often have a little correction, but then they run on again and we get a new high and they run on again. So we just follow these moves higher and we follow them with our stop, but it also protects and minimises losses. So it protects a trend we already have, but it also minimises a loss. So if we start off with a loss, a minimum 10 to 15% is what we risk. And that's where we cut any losses out. No questions asked, no analysis. Just when the stop is hit, we get out. So they extend the trends for you and they cut our losses for us. So that's what their dual purpose is. Simplicity is the essence of good trading, and I think you probably find that's what I try and do for the most part. I have 2 entry signals, 1 exit signal. I don't need a lot of other stuff to help me. I don't get every stock for sure, but that's just the way it is. As long as I get some, as long as I get some good ones, that's the most important thing. So simplicity is the essence of good trading. There's less room for error, less exceptions to the rule, all these different things. In my world, there is only a yes or a no answer in any of the situations that I come up against. Okay, so put your mind aside, this part aside, and focus on your qualification signals, focus on your trade plan, what it says, what it does. Who was to know this was going to happen with some stocks 6 months ago, but it has done, whether it be Telstra or QBE or Brambles, some extraordinarily old sort of boring old stocks. But then we've got the excitement of the goals and a few of those innovation stocks, technology stocks, which I covered in the newsletter last week. Pro Medicus, MP1, NextDC, which has gone up and down. All these stocks do this sort of thing. So we've got to be prepared for any situation and not be fall too much in love with stocks that we are making money on. Okay, so there's my disclaimer there, just telling you about not giving personal advice, whatever it is, you can check that out. So really that's about all I've got for you today. We've been managing the breakout trend. That's what we're looking at today. It's also about keeping in with them when they run, because they're really running on. Not listening to too many things like CBO's overpriced or JB Hi-Fi's overpriced, because stocks can still run on. I've seen these markets before, and markets just run, and there's nothing to stop them. So breakout trends need to be followed and managed, and this can be done by using the simplest breakout techniques that trigger an entry and risk managed by a trailing stop to control your exits. It really is that simple. Okay, so I hope you're all making a bit of money in this market. It's certainly a lot of fun. Be an interesting day ahead today again. It's interesting, the ASX 200 is near its highs. Sentiment is getting a bit stronger again towards some of these stocks, which is fantastic. So make sure you watch your trends, heed your stops, keep it simple, have fun, stay safe, and I will see you all next week. Thank you very much.